Hi, it's Justine. Maybe that'll be my intro. I don't know. But I figured since I've been doing this, and if you watch my videos, you might want to know a little something about myself. If you are watching it, maybe you do. I don't know. If you don't, then well, stop watching. If you do, then I guess I don't know. Where I came from. I came from New London, Wisconsin. I might have said that in a different video, but yes, I was literally born and raised there up until I was 15 years old, and then I moved in with my grandma. I was a pretty troubled kid. Who brought me up? Well, I have multiple people. When I was raising up, I didn't always get along with my dad or agree with him. He was 18 years old. You know, he was a baby with a baby, raising me by himself. I met Basha, my mother. I know her now, and I love her, and she's a beautiful person. I met my mom around when I was 13 years old, when I actually knew who she was, and for the longest time, I didn't even know my actual last name. I thought it was Bonikowski. But it's not, it's there. I don't have the brightest past, and I don't have to get into it too deep, but I am a recovering addict. And you may judge me on that or not, but I'm proud to be who I am today. I am no longer addicted to things like prescription, medication, and whatnot. That should have been on one of my pet peeves is people who are proud to be druggies or proud to be a stoner. Well, guess what? It's nothing to be proud of. Especially if you're a young teenager. You have a lot of people, realize it or not, that look up to you, who think you're cool shit. And people in my life did when I was in that stage in my life. My siblings thought I was cool shit. And I wish I could have been a better influence on them at that time. I am ashamed to say that, like, I wasn't there for them sometimes when they needed me the most, as well as sometimes now for me, because they followed some paths that I did. Not that I don't love them, and they are wonderful people. I love all my siblings, like my sister Danielle, Devin, and Dusty. They're not all blood. I only have one blood, and that's half brother Dustin, but I consider them all just as much part of me as if they weren't or were. I went to a couple different high schools. I went to a bunch of different schools, actually. I started out at Head Start. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, that was like preschool. And then I went to Parkview. Then New London's middle school and their high school. I went to Waiwega Fremont Middle School. I went to, after moving away from New London, I went to Shawano High School, which I have to say is probably the best high school I've ever been to when it comes to educational and sports-wise. They're very strict. In New London, you would say you get caught with a lighter or cigarettes, it would be confiscated from you, and that would be the end of it. Shawano, you'd be suspended for that and or maybe expelled. In New London, you get in screaming fights with your teachers. In Shawano, you talk back to your teacher, you're in the office, and you have a warning, and if you start cussing and swearing at your teachers, you could get a big fine, you could get suspended, or you could get expelled. You mean that kind of attitude, it's just not tolerated there. In their school in New London, you did the mile once a year for gym, and in Shawano, you did the mile every single day to warm up. I thought that was insane. I looked at the teacher like, you're crazy, like, I ain't doing that, no way, like, no. And he's like, well, just do it. And all the rest of the kids did it because, well, that was their school. That's how they knew it was done. So I did, and I got really in shape, and I liked it. I liked gym. I actually started liking those activities because it made me feel good about myself that I could accomplish those things, like run a mile under 7 minutes. It was great. I loved it. It was definitely the push I needed after coming out of what I was going through. I actually went through a lot of things. If you want to know more about that in detail, ask for it in a comment or something, and I'll go in depth about like my recovery and what it took to get there. Which brings me to people who I am thankful for. Growing up, I don't really have my mom around, so I look towards like my friends' parents, and a lot of those my friends' moms are very important to me even to this day because of how much they've helped, or dads. Like my friend Keisha's parents are just like my second family, and I love them very much. And I feel really bad because I didn't get to see them the last time I was supposed to. Our lives are crazy now that we're out of high school, trying to get jobs, trying to make money, not having a vehicle, not having just there's so many different things that go into that. Also, the Schneider family, their family has been one of the best influences on my life, and I was at one point even ashamed to walk into their house because I didn't feel that I deserved to, because they were so wonderful, and I thought that I was basically a piece of shit that walked in their house because of what I've done, and I felt like I was below them. I don't know how to explain that. I wasn't proud of myself, but they show me that it's okay and that they love me and I love them too, and they have no idea how thankful I am for them too. I had my friend Caitlin and her parents. Her mom was especially nice to me, and she understood sometimes that life was tough, and she let me stay over if I needed to. And ironically, I didn't have the best record in school when it came to teachers or attendance for classes or, showing up. Principals and teachers actually ended up being like my best friends, and one of them even became somewhat part of what I felt like my family. I've had very good mentors in my life, principals telling me that. I remember one specifically after I was done literally getting in a screaming fight with a teacher. He told me that I am better than that and that I'm not my friends, and that I was going to amount to something and I was going to be somebody, and that, I was a good person, and I really needed that, and I really took that to heart, and I did everything I could to prove everybody else that was telling me I wasn't nothing, I couldn't do nothing, that they were wrong, that I am somebody, I am something, and I could accomplish something. Besides, like, some principals, some teachers, always my art teachers, I love them all. Like Miss Johnson, she was awesome. Let me think. My grandma, for sure. If I didn't have her, I probably wouldn't be here today. Bill, the guy literally saved my life. I almost drowned actually when I was a little girl. Jumped in a pool, let go of the railing, and I went back and didn't know how to swim, and he jumped in the pool and he saved my life. I would have to thank my sister, my brothers, my loved ones, my mom. She may not be the best influencing parent, but I know that she has a big heart, and I take that into my heart. I know that she is a wonderful woman inside of there and outside, and when she realizes it, that would be great. My stepdad, my dad, just because we had really rough time when I was growing up does not mean that I couldn't come to a point where I could say that I still love him and I appreciate what he's done for me. I mean, I didn't always like him, but I do love him, and he taught me very valuable lessons in life, like love and respect and discipline. And just because I moved away from him at 15 did not mean that he didn't do his job. It just meant that I needed something else to push me out of what I was doing, and it happens. So don't think you failed, Dad. My favorite color is, I love all colors, to be honest with you. I think one of them, if I had to pick, was like lime green. I like lime green. I like purples, blues, teals. My hobbies, I like drawing, actually. Like, you wouldn't believe it, like my wall. I'll just show you, like, hold on a second. That glows in the dark at night. I did that for my boyfriend, and I did that for my boyfriend. If I can get that around. If it shows any of those things, I don't know. I guess I'll have to check if it did. Music I'm into, I like a lot of different bands like Chevelle, POD. I like Pink, I like Stained. I was really into Nirvana when I was, in middle school, freshman year. I like Stained, Puddle of Mud, Alicia Keys. I like ranging my music from everywhere. I can like anything from country to rap to hip-hop to pop to, oldies, old school stuff, like Ozzy. I was literally raised on that kind of music. I was raised more in the old band kind of things, old rock. Yeah. I'm not sure what else I could say about myself. I wasn't really into sports growing up. I did volleyball once. I'm pretty good at it, but I didn't like the girls that were in it felt like they were very rude to me. Yeah. Hey! What do you think you're doing? Dog was about to lick my fish water. That's gross. Yeah, I like animals a lot. I have a big tank full of guppies, and a couple of them are pregnant. I think one of them already had her babies. I have a bullhead baby fish. He's actually not really a baby no more, but he's still pretty tiny, so I consider him my baby. I have a bass in the corner, which isn't really mine. It's my boyfriend's, but it's my tank, my stuff. It's just his fish, whatever. I don't know, I've been into experimenting with my makeup lately. I usually like a more natural look, but I don't know, it's kind of fun to think about it. I've been home a lot lately since, no, I do not have a job, but I did graduate, just to say to all those teachers who thought I couldn't, I did. I'm not stupid. Yeah. Sometimes I get a little airheady and I space out. Sometimes people don't understand what I'm saying, and sometimes I have no clue what people are talking about. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, some people, like, I don't know, like my dad had Asperger's. It's a form of autism, but it's nothing to be ashamed of, and I hope he doesn't get mad at me for saying that, because he doesn't, I don't know how to say this without being rude, but he doesn't really believe that it's real, and I know that he does. I don't know how to say it, but it's on paper, like, yes, he is, and I find some of the characteristics that he has, I find in myself, like when, say, an explanation that you would say to me would make no sense, like, just some things that don't make any sense to me. It actually gets quite frustrating when I'm trying to have conversation. It doesn't mean that I'm stupid. Actually, people with Asperger's are known to be very intelligent people. It's just like certain communication skills or people skills that don't really get across. Man, I got some nice choppers. Sorry. Yeah, so that's me.